From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. Well, scientists are a bit perplexed about a patch of water in the North Atlantic, south of Greenland and Iceland. It's been dubbed the cold blob, and while the ocean around it continues to heat up, it's been getting colder. A new study believes it has the answer to this mystery, and that study also says that it's an ominous sign that the world is hurtling toward one of the most alarming climate tipping points. The swath of ocean has cooled by about 2 degrees since 1900. Scientists have long debated whether this anomaly is driven by heat loss from the ocean surface due to changes to winds and clouds, or whether it's a signal of the weakening of a critical system of ocean currents, which transports heat. The new research concludes it's the latter, and the finding points to a worrying future. The Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, or AMOC, works like a vast ocean conveyor belt, pulling warm water from the tropics to the northern hemisphere, where it cools, sinks, and flows back south. Now, there's a lot of research that suggests that this system is weakening as human-driven global warming melts ice and causes a surge of fresh water into the ocean, disrupting the AMOC's delicate balance of heat and salinity. Some scientists warn that the AMOC is heading toward a tipping point, potentially as early as this century, which would mean a future collapse is locked in. An AMOC shutdown would be a global catastrophe, causing accelerated sea level rise on the U.S. East Coast, plunging Europe into a winter deep freeze and shifting the monsoon in Africa, driving prolonged droughts. The cold blob has been interpreted by some as a fingerprint of AMOC change because it's the region to which the AMOC brings much of its heat. To better unravel what's happening in this part of the Atlantic, the study scientists combined real-world ocean heat data from instruments and satellites with climate models, and they found that cooling in the cold blob was not just happening on the surface, but also deep in the ocean, where atmospheric conditions like winds and clouds have a much weaker influence. All signs point to the influence of the AMOC. Now, there is also plenty of other evidence that the AMOC is weakening, independent of the cold blob, with some studies suggesting it's at the weakest it's been in around 1,000 years. Previous studies have demonstrated it is possible to generate a cold blob through atmospheric conditions alone, but the fact the new study found consistent results across different data sets strengthens the robustness of the conclusions. Dave Thornalley, a professor of ocean and climate science at University College London, who was not involved in this particular research, said that the study bolsters evidence of a link between the cold blob and a weakening AMOC. But he cautioned that the sparseness of real-world data means the available data sets are best viewed as good approximations rather than perfect representations of reality. He told CNN that uncertainties do remain. He doesn't think this study will be the final word on the issue. Jonathan Baker, a senior climate scientist at the UK Met Office, agreed, telling CNN, "I would view this study as adding evidence for an AMOC contribution to the cold blob, rather than definitively settling the question." That's all for now. You can find regional forecasts and more science-based articles at AccuWeather.com, and for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day, stay weather aware, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.